Hello, the doc is in, and welcome back to another chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen, chapter 229. We are continuing the Gojo versus Sukuna hype. It's not a fight, it's just straight heat to the soul. Last chapter, we have Gojo and Sukuna continuing to go back and forth as per the usual with the domains to domains to domains. And you have Gojo seeming to kind of come out looking a little victorious last chapter. Last chapter was looking kind of good for Gojo fans. I'm not going to cap. I'm not going to lie. But at the end of it, we got the Maharaga wheel. Stress. We waiting for this moment. Gojo's been waiting for it too. He's been like, when Tenshou's going to get pulled out? And we saw it start getting pulled out. And we saw Gojo's nose start bleeding. Everybody was theorizing. We're going to find out a little bit about that this chapter. Alright? So that's it for last chapter. Let's get into this chapter. Alright? So chapter starts off, and we got Yuta. He's like, Gojo's nose bleeding. What does that mean? Gojo, who gives a fuck? Wipes his nose. Domain expansion again. I know they were at the beginning of this fight. They were talking and theorizing like, oh yeah, multiple domains are going to be released. Correction, not multiple domains are going to be released during the fight. No, the fight is just domain clashes. Back to back to back to back to back. Now, given we know that domain expansions are peak sorcery, so logically speaking, this kind of adds up. But it is kind of crazy to put in perspective, like just how many domains have been used in this one fight. When in normal fights between regular-ish sorcerers, one domain being used is like, whoa, this is a big, well, not a gamble, but it's sort of a gamble if they both have a domain. Like, whoever wins the clash, that's it for the battle. And they're just going back and forth. People just losing their domains. And then they just use another one. Anyway, yeah, so they hop right back into domains. And so Kurosu and Yuji and Kusakabe are kind of discussing the situation regarding, like, okay, we're going back into domains. Like, what's Gojo's win con in this situation? And so after the last chapter where we have Gojo actually come off, but I guess you could say a tie in terms of domain clash, Kusakabe establishes that if Gojo's able to defeat Sukuna in the domain clash within 3 minutes, then he wins the domain outright. He wins the domain fight and he can get his unlimited void off. And Shoko kind of agrees with this and is basically like, hey, if Gojo's able to get his unlimited void to hit for like a second, Sukuna's incapacitated. It's vulnerability time. This is his stagger moment. This is his plus damage, whatever, weak point, blah blah blah. Right? And so then she's basically like, Gojo will win. And we get to see Gojo inside the domain clash, right? Inside his domain. And bro's got, I don't know, he must have adapted Divergent Fist. My man got Unlimited Fist or something, because he got this big flow of cursed energy around his hands, and he begins to, I won't even call this a squabble, because honestly, it's just because Sukuna gave pieced up. Alright, he's getting hit with the aura straight to the face. Well, not the face, but straight to the hands. Sukuna's blocking, right? He gets hit, sent flying. Gojo running around the back, right, doing a little speedster stuff. You hit the guy from the front, he goes flying, you fly around behind him, right? Sukuna is kind of rebounding after getting barraged, right? And what Gojo does, it seems, is that he does one of two things. I want to say that what he probably does is that he uses blue to basically pull Sukuna further. So, right, Sukuna's flying through the air, he pulls him further to make him basically fly into like a part of his like domain, the big object temple thing, right? Flies, throws him in there, then he pulls him out of there. My man's using the force, pulls him out of there. He's like, there's no rest for the weary. Goes for a heavy punch straight to the chest. My man's trying to do donut activity, donut protocol. But once again, Sukuna is not to be trifled with. All right, my man is not weak. Don't get the wrong idea. He blocks it. All right, the attack gets blocked. Sukuna's smiling. Gojo's looking, he's smiling, but he's looking serious. And then domain shatters. Now, we're not quite, I can't say exactly what happens from, between the punch and the Sukuna, all the domains shattering. But Sukuna comes out, half his face gone. Again. given, Sukuna don't look worse. Well, not, I wouldn't say worse for wear, but with have his face gone, he's smiling. All right, he is not upset about this situation whatsoever. He's not stressed. All right, and so once again, Kusakabe, Meimei, and Choso, they basically point out like, oh, you know, they broke out at the same time, so things are looking even keel. We went from Sukuna dominating the domains to coming around to like midway point where it's kind of like, all right, it's going neck and neck. Now it's kind of seeming like it's going in Gojo's favor. When it comes to the fights within the domain, it's looking like Gojo's got the hands. All right, Sukuna was seeming like he was showing off when he was going domain to domain, but now that Gojo's got the hang of it, I don't know. Gojo seems to be taking over now, and Miwa agrees, and so does Yuji. And then we cut away from, you know, spectators, back to the fight. Gojo, again, big punch, straight into a tree, sending Sukuna flying. Then, domain expansion. Jesus Christ, I was saying it earlier. These domains are going back to back. What is this? So, now the domains going out again. And Yuta's like, hold on. For a second there. Well, it looks like Gojo's domain got off first, but just by a second, by a hair. Then the narrator comes in. But I don't think it's a narrator. Based on the phrasing of everything, it seems like it's Gojo's thinking about what just happened. And so basically, the gist of it is, whether it's planning, well, we can't really say for sure whether it's planning or not, but the gist of it seems like Gojo, after hitting Sukuna, he gets just a second. Well, not even a second. Gets 0.01 of a second extra time to summon his domain. How does this work? Basically, by doing a bunch of damage to Sukuna, Sukuna has to heal first, then do his curse technique, then summon his domain. 3 different things. That 0.01 second that he got to, like, for Gojo to summon his domain faster than Sukuna was all gotten by the fact that he basically put a bunch of things on his on Sukuna's like list of things to do before the next domain, versus Gojo, who just needs to summon his domain, which is why he was able to get off a little bit faster because Sukuna was healing his curse technique and himself before doing domain. And because of that, unlimited void hits, bang, and so Gojo hit pause. Crazy sense. But donuts were had. Holes were made. Holes were not used. Holes were made. Chest shattered. Mind shattered. Mental and physical demolishing. Still feels a little bit sexual, but we're gonna move on from that, right? So Sukuna's kind of the limited void, can't move. He's just been hit. He's been given a critical strike. Alright? And Gojo's like, whoa. It's not over yet. I need lungs, liver, heart, shoot. I need all your organs out your body. Right? I'm gonna do you worse than you did Yuji that one time. Nasty work. I respect it though. Gotta look out for his boy. Gotta get that get back. So Gojo's heading in. Then with this treasure, I summon 8-handled sword, Divergent Scylla, Divine General Maharaga. We were waiting for this day. We thought last chapter we were setting up for him to come out. Thought at the beginning of this chapter he was gonna drop. Nah, he's dropping now. How? I have no clue. But the young man is out, and Gojo's like, alright, no biggie. I wasn't expecting that right now, but no biggie. Just gotta one-shot him. Curse technique, reversal slash. Huh? What are you? Oh, how is he already adapted to the unlimited void? Well, I wouldn't say I got some theories. There's a callback reason as to how this works, but just the gist of it is, we're not a good situation, right? Gojo can one-shot Maharaga if he's not adapted. Now he's adapted. What in the flying fuckery is Gojo supposed to do? Now, we don't know what things Gojo got under his hands. We don't know. We don't know what counts as different techniques. But as it stands, Gojo's looking very, very much blasted by next chapter. Break next week, by the way. End of chapter. I personally have no clue what he's supposed to do now, because all he has is unlimited void, as far as we know. Now he has not used physical attacks, as far as we know. That would count, as far as we know. But yeah, it's not looking very good for this. It's not looking good for Gojo going forward. Now, this chapter by itself, Gojo's looking monstrous. All right, he's putting. Let's just put it this way: Sukuna was not doing any offense this chapter. The only offense he had at the end of the chapter, he had to use 10 shadows. If you're a Sukuna fan, you're down horrendy. All right, the spoilers came out. Sukuna fraud, Fraudkuna, Safrada, the king of the frauds. It's looking bad. He's not Calamity. He's not Calamity. He's a scam, a liar. Because why he over here using Megumi's technique? I thought he had it all wrapped up with this cleave and dismantle, his own techniques. You know. But putting that aside, right? He's not actually a fraud. Putting the fraud allegations aside, the fact of the matter is, Sukuna is super dangerous, and that man is gonna use other people's techniques to beat people because he don't care. He just want to beat you up real bad. He wants to put you in a pack. Not to smoke you, to burn you. Just so then you know you're useless. So, next chapter, I genuinely don't know how Gojo gets out of this one. Like, everybody's like, oh, Sukuna needs Mahoraga. Maybe he does. But Sukuna's a good planner for preparing well to fight an opponent that he knows is pretty strong. So, instead of taking risks and potentially losing to Gojo, instead he made it impossible for Gojo to win, because if Mahoraga's already adapted to the unlimited void, unless Gojo has the hands that literally eviscerate Mahoraga in one hit, he loses now. So everybody's saying Sukuna fraud. Gojo's gonna die. That is the other option here. Sukuna might be a fraud, but he's still standing and Gojo is dead. So let's just keep it real for real. The winner is decided by who gets to walk away from this fight. So don't get ahead of yourselves, kids. Sukuna may have lost this chapter, but next chapter is looking rough for Gojo. He is having an uphill battle, and that's to say the least. So, you know, that's all I gotta say for this chapter. Otherwise, good chapter. I enjoyed it. Very nice. Yeah, that was all. It was just pure hype. Straight to the veins. All right, with that all being said, thank you for watching. The Doc is out. Peace.
Thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe and watch the videos on the right. Other than that, the Doc is out. Bye.